Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Today at the headquarters of the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia, here at FDR Park in South Philadelphia. This building's been around since 2004. The First Tee program has been around for several decades, and we'll have more coming up on this edition of Inside Golf about what the First Tee program is all about, who benefits and who gets involved. Some of the biggest names in golf nationally, and here in Philadelphia it includes Jay Sigel. We'll meet with Jay as well as the outgoing executive director, John McDonald, and the new executive director, Bill Hyneman V. It's coming up next, right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine. It's a Jersey way of life, and Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Along with being stewards of the game of golf, your local PGA professional wears many hats.
We are teachers.
We are players.
We are managers.
We are merchandisers.
And community leaders.
But we all wear one badge.
PGA professionals are well-trained experts who work hard to share the joy of golf with our neighbors for over 90 years. To find your local PGA professional, visit phillypga.com. Brought to you by the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
We are the experts in the game and business of golf.
The First Tee teaches you golf, but they also teach you life skills. We learn things you can use everywhere, every day.
Like how to meet people you don't know. I'm Nicholas. It comes in handy on your first day of school.
Or interviewing for a job.
Thank you.
Some of the best golf lessons have very little to do with golf. The life skills young people learn at the First Tee stay with them long after they leave. Visit thefirsttee.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Janie. Let's play some golf.
Well, that gives you an idea about the First Tee program nationally. And here, there is the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia, and two of the men that are very much involved in it, Jay Sigel and John McDonald. Jay, first of all, great to see you again.
Thank you.
And John. Jay, as somebody who has played the game at the very highest level, what got you involved in the First Tee program here of Greater Philadelphia?
Well, I would say simply giving back to the game. It's been so wonderful to me. And met John 35 years ago, and we've been at it ever since.
John, I remember your days as the golf coach at Temple University, right? So you've always been involved in both golf and education to some degree. Jay, what does John McDonald bring to the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia?
So much. He's a perfect example, ideal example of the life's lessons that you can learn from golf. His love of the kids, his conviction. It's not an easy task that we have pulled off for 35 years, and he's kept our board focused. He's been our driving force, and he sort of handpicked his successor, and John's going to be missed, but fortunately he's agreed to stay with us and as a board member, and he'll be as active as ever, I know.
John, I'm talking to you a little bit earlier. This all began down here in South Philadelphia at FDR back around, 2003. You got this site, and then you had to construct this site because you needed to have a site in order to have a charter program here in Philadelphia. Tell us about that, the history a little bit, and what happens here.
Sure. We were very fortunate to acquire the opportunity to build this facility. It's a 4,000 square foot facility. And the corporate community of Philadelphia area through ACE as a leading group, ACE Insurance, ACE Group. They were instrumental in helping us finance this operation. And it was the #1 teaching center in the country when we built it. A lot of folks have utilized this as a springboard to build their own similar and maybe make them even better, which is the beauty part of the First Tee, where nothing's sacred. If you come up with something good, you share it with everybody else in the country, and it's one of the key missions that we try and get across to the kids.
How many kids were first involved when you opened up here back in 2004? How many kids are we talking about?
We had a handful, probably less than 100, and it's now grown to 14,000 in Philadelphia and 7 surrounding counties.
14,000. Correct. And Jay, it's more than just golf. The 9 core values that the First Tee program nationally and in Greater Philadelphia try to stress to these 14,000 kids. Tell us about that.
Right, Harry. Well said. It is more than golf. That's just a small part of it. It's how we hook the kids, and through golf we teach them about the 9 core values: sportsmanship, integrity, and the others. So it's proven very, very successful. We've got many wonderful examples of kids that have been through our program. I could list them, and it's been fabulous.
And it's not just young men, right, John?
No, not at all. The beauty part of our chapter is, and nationally, it's for young boys and girls. Here in Greater Philadelphia, we have about 49% of the 14,000 participants are girls. And the other beauty part of our chapter is we focus on urban kids, giving them an opportunity to experience the beauty of the game and learn some of the core values. It's a great opportunity to teach these values on a platform of golf. And with that, about 70% of our kids are of color, and certainly receiving eligible for lunch programs, which is the key for First Tee to determine income status.
And probably it's safe to say the overwhelming majority of the kids, when they first come here, probably don't even know what a golf club or golf ball or golf course is all about.
Early on, that's true, Harry. They didn't have golf clubs, didn't know which end to hold, and that's another thing we do. We supply them with equipment, and we're always looking for donations to keep that the inventory up.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sure a lot of people that watch our show right now are golfers, and every once in a while they get a new bag or they get another dozen golf balls, and they wonder, what am I going to do with the bag and the golf balls or the clubs that I have? I'm sure you guys are waiting with welcoming arms, saying, "Hey, we're available. Come on."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. You talked earlier too about the chance for some of these kids to go on and play in national tournaments. I think there's one just in the Northeast region, right? Give us a little background about that, John, and how it too is not just about what you do for 18 holes on the golf course.
The home office, the national, has from year one come up with national events, and as the program has expanded nationally from a few thousand participants to over 7 million. That there's so many kids, you needed to create some more regional events. So here in our area, we created the Northeast region. It takes in about 7 states in the Northeast, and chapters from those 7 states participate. And we come up with a way to encourage kids to really focus on the 9 core values. And part of the tournament is prior to hitting their first shot, in the event, there's a test. They all have the opportunity. They can pick a hard question, an easy question, a middle-of-the-road question. They get points for it. It's all focused on the 9 core values, and it's a part of their total score. So we keep the 9 core values at the forefront of everything we do.
Jay, we're standing here in this building down at FDR Park, and I see on the wall the Jay Siegel Learning Center, which, and we take a look at what we have here, a simulated putting green, et cetera. Do you get down here and try to pass on that great putting stroke or whatever when it comes to golf that you can offer?
No, Harry, but I need to, that's for sure. Yeah, no.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, do they walk out of here, John, knowing who this guy is, Jay Siegel?
They certainly do. Jay has been instrumental. He's been a part of just about everything that we've ever done, any fundraising effort. Jay's always there walking around, pressing the flesh, giving free lessons out on the golf course. He's ridden around here for some of our fundraisers years ago to try and pay for this building. And he played with every group. And Jay's an institution here in the Delaware Valley.
Well, you can't have a bigger name in golf, not just in Philadelphia, but around the country, in Jay Siegel. And Jay, it's great that you're giving back.
Thank you.
We'll be back too. Jay had mentioned another prominent name in Philadelphia and national golf, international golf for that matter, is going to come on board and take John's place. And we'll meet him when Inside Golf continues in just a moment.
As a volunteer.
Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, published by former Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, is everything you want in a publication catering to men's interest. Enjoy articles on politics, business, the mob, wine, food, fitness, and travel. Written by the likes of George Anastasia, Bill Lyon, Sam Carchidi, and Mike Kern. Want to grow your business? Ask for information on our Legacy and Chairman Clubs. They meet regularly and can be a valuable tool for your company. Subscriptions are only $20 a year for 6 issues. They're available at jerseymanmagazine.com. Welcome back to Inside Golf. We're down here at FDR Park in South Philadelphia talking about the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia, standing in front of the learning curve that is very much a part of the First Tee program. And with me is Bill Hyneman V, who is no stranger, actually, to Inside Golf, because we've been at Huntington Valley with you, Bill, and talked about your iconic grandfather and what he meant to golf in Philadelphia and around the world, actually, as one of the great amateurs ever. And now you're going to take over as executive director of the First Tee program in Greater Philadelphia. But actually, before we get into what that entails for you, tell us a little bit about your history, because you were involved more than 30 years ago with the forerunner of this program.
Yes, 30 years ago, played in the Greater Philadelphia Scholastic Golf Association tournaments that brought kids into the city to play golf, to interact with kids from all over the counties. John McDonald ran that. Jay Siegel was very involved. And I have a lot of great memories as a 13-year-old playing in those tournaments.
And you played with Jay, right?
I did.
How'd you guys do?
Well, I was...
Or is it too long ago to even remember?
I was as a medalist, you had the opportunity to play with Jay. So Jay played in my group as part of the tournament.
That's great. And now here you are working with Jay, working with John McDonald, taking John's place as executive director of the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia. What does that exactly mean? What does that entail for you?
So we're going to run all the programs for many kids, the 14,000 kids that John talked about. And I think that's just a great opportunity to be able to build our programs, build the clubs that we work at, be able to build our staff, to grow our staff, and we want to kind of increase our reach. And there's many that we touch in the 14,000, but there's also many out there that haven't been introduced to golf that we want to teach them the life skills of golf, the core values of golf that I know for me personally I've benefited immensely throughout my life.
Who exactly are some of these mentors? They're volunteers, obviously. You do have some staff here full-time, but you get people just coming up to you saying, hey, I'd like to help out. What can I do?
So we have, probably over 300 volunteers that help us as teachers. They help us with the programs that we run. They help us with cleaning our facilities. They help us with setting up our facilities. And then we have 7 staff members. But, those that have passion for teaching kids are a great help to us. And we couldn't do it without our many volunteers.
And many of those volunteers, are they all golfers, or do they have some semblance of game, or is that not necessarily a prerequisite for getting involved?
Not a prerequisite, but I think the majority have a love of the game of golf. But we do have, some that don't play any golf, but just have an interest in being able to help with our mission.
Bill, we're here at FDR in South Philadelphia, and there is another location, Walnut Lane, which is very involved in the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia, and in fact benefits from having area superintendents lend their time and expertise to making that a better venue.
Yeah, so the First Tee has a facility at Walnut Lane Golf Club, and we help run that golf course, and we've benefited greatly with the Superintendents Association, which volunteers their time, and they've been doing it for a number of years, and they just helped us out this past September to provide many services, and we wouldn't be able to do it as a nonprofit without their help.
Things like what, aerating the greens and fairways, et cetera?
Yes, tree work, aerating the greens. We did some overseeding, and just using their expertise for our project list.
Just another example of people in the game giving back.
Yes, and I think we've really benefited from that, and it's very exciting that there's many out there that want to help us, and again, we wouldn't be able to do it without their help.
So if anybody out there is watching right now and says, this sounds like something, maybe a retiree or somebody that has some extra time would like to get involved, what would be their best way of doing just that?
So they can go to our website, which is the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia. They could look us up on Facebook, and we'd be more than happy to have their assistance as volunteers.
And, you know, there's no minimum or maximum amount of time. Whenever they can do it, they can come down here, get out on the golf course or the tee with the kids, and also get in here and go through the learning curve, right, which is equally as important.
That is very true and very important. And as a volunteer, there's training that's through the First Tee. There's online training that they can get qualified to be able to coach and teach at various levels. So we'll take anybody in whatever capacity they want to volunteer. We'll be more than willing to take their help.
All right, it sounds like another way to take their game forward and give back. In the case of somebody maybe who has been involved in golf all their lives as an amateur player or club member or whatever, here's a chance maybe to reach out and say, hey, it'd be great to give 2, 3, 4 hours a week.
I think you're right, and I think that many that are on our board, many that participate as volunteers, everybody has felt that they've benefited greatly from the game of golf, and they want to try to pass that on to provide other opportunities for young kids to have the same experience.
And it's great to have the Hyneman name associated with it. That means a lot. I know sometimes you may take that for granted, but our viewers know the Hyneman name is preeminent in Philadelphia golf, and to have you carry on the legacy of your family with the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia means an awful, awful lot. Billy, thanks very much.
Thanks, Harry.
These hands will change our world. This is a wall here at the First Tee program of Greater Philadelphia at FDR Park, and Rebecca Camano is a staff member. Rebecca, what's the significance of these handprints?
Well, these handprints are for all the students that are in our program, and the different colors and the different levels of our program are signified by these hands. These students have grown in our program and grown through and progressed through all the different levels of our program, from player to birdie. And as you can see, we have ace up there, which is the top of our program. We don't have any quite in that program yet, but as the hands are getting taller and taller, and they're trying to reach there.
I love it. Some of the hands obviously looks like they're youngsters all the way up to teenagers, huh?
Yes, absolutely. We have anyone from 4 to 18 years old.
And we do hope that it does change the world a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
And Inside Golf continues. More coming up from our teed-off panel. Stay with us.
We're rolling out the action and bringing it all to the table. So go all in with endless ways to win. Join us for the area's hottest happy hour with double the action at half the price. Only at Valley Forge Casino Resort.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues right now with our teed-off panel from the Valley Forge Casino Resort. They got a new spot out here called The Vault. The 3 Bs. Maybe you've seen the billboards for it. Bars, bands, and bites. And we're going to take a few bites out of some topics of golf, controversial topics in golf, with Bob Shepard, a longtime professional here in the Philadelphia area. He's an author and a longtime contributor to Inside Golf. Joe Logan is the man that puts out myphillygolf.com. And our old friend Jack Conley, former president of PGA of America and a great golf ambassador at North Hills Country Club. Yep. As the year wraps up and we look towards 2016 getting underway, actually it began, I guess, the way they do it now, Joe, begins in November, but that's for another show too. Some controversial things that happened over the last 12 months in the game of golf. One of them sticks out, sort of an international incident in that it involved the Spaniard, Jimenez,
Miguel Angel,
and Keegan Bradley during a match play event. And they got into it, I'm not sure exactly why, but it got a little heated between those two guys, and you normally don't see that thing on tour.
You don't. I actually found it a little refreshing. You know, as Jack said, Jimenez was a little, you know, he should have said quite what he said as vehemently as he said, but he was trying to protect the field. And then Keegan Bradley had a short fuse, and next thing you know, they're going at it. I found it to be refreshing.
What was it, Jack? Over like a ball went out
of a ball drop.
In a hazard?
Close, no, okay. It was to the left side of a cart path, and they had the rules official there, and Miguel Angel didn't think that the drop was proper and asked for another one, and Keegan's caddy got into it face to face with Miguel, and that was the problem. Players can get into it, but the caddies have no role in in protecting their players as far as I'm concerned. That should be done with the rules officials and the players themselves.
Right. I guess next year, Bob, when it comes time to make some pairings up, somebody's got to put Jimenez and Keegan Bradley together, don't you think? Just for that handshake on the first.
Just for the first tee.
On the first tee.
see who spins away first.
Yeah. Another one that, speaking about an international controversy, Suzanne Pedersen in the Solheim Cup.
Yep.
Refused, or I don't know what happened, but she didn't give a very short putt to Allison Lee of the U.S., and Allison picked up her ball. She thought it was conceded, but she never actually heard the words, "That's good." And then Pedersen walked off the area of the green to go to the next hole, and when she picked up, everybody said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I kind of like went back against Suzanne. She later apologized, sort of. But did you ever see an incident like that before in internet? And you've been to Ryder Cups many times.
No, I never have, but I got to tell you, as a competitor, when an individual in particularly match play like that walks off the green and starts walking to the next tee, you assume. If I'm a competitor and I'm not giving you the putt, I'm going to stay there and watch you putt it.
Okay.
So I think there was a miscommunication there as well, and I'm not sure that somebody didn't think that she said that was good, because when you walk off the green and you continue to the next tee and you don't give that person the credibility to turn around and watch him either make or miss it, so it was a shame it happened.
Is that the sort of thing, Joe, that's going to stick with Suzanne the rest of her career?
Yes. I mean, it's always going to be there. She, to her credit, apologized the next day. She realized the mistake she had made. Her agent talked to her about it. Her teammates apparently talked to her about it. She probably looked at the video. And just as Jack said, in the universal body language of golf, the putt missed. She turned and walked off the green, which any golfer will tell you means pick it up, we're out of here. And I guess at some point she glanced over her shoulder and saw actually how far it went past the hole and decided to turn around and come back. Well, you know what? That's not done. Not in, especially a gentlewomanly match like that. And so she'll, eventually people will forget about it.
There'll always be that asterisk with Suzanne Pedersen.
Similar thing is with Payne Stewart and Colin Montgomery, the 18th hole up at the country club.
Okay.
Because everybody was giving Colin a hard time. Payne Stewart conceded about a 10-foot par putt, which tied the match because we had already won based on what Leonard had done. So there's some sportsmanship that Payne Stewart will always be remembered for.
Shep, you played collegiate golf. You're a PGA professional, I'm sure, in many matches, match play. Did you ever have, a doubt maybe whether you should give a putt to a competitor, or what was your test when it came to conceding putts?
I actually went over physically and knock it away. I would actually sweep the green for the guy. That leaves everything out of it because there's emotions being played, and as I mentioned before too, all golfers practice irons, woods, sand traps, putters, but nobody practices the rules enough. And when you're into a situation like this, how many times have you really studied what to do in a situation like that? And with all the pressure and the cameras and all the camaraderie going on, it's easy to. And then they say to it, Suzanne Pedersen, they say that there might have been somebody in the gallery that yelled, "That's good." Yeah. And that was another mystery that nobody quite knows if that was part of the play or not, if that happened or not. So I don't know.
Bobby never gave a putt where the guy had two putters in his bag.
No, that's right. That's right.
I don't know if you told me the Walter Hagen story where Walter Hagen would virtually concede almost any length of putt on the front nine of a match. And on the back nine, he'd just stand there and watch it. You could have one like this or one like this.
Say, let's see if
they were good on the front nine, but not on the back nine.
And once you realize what he had done, it just makes you so mad you can't stand it.
That's where gamesmanship is always a part of this game. Right. Gentlemen, thank you. And Inside Golf continues with more in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, and there are nearly 500 guest rooms, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list. Here to talk about Valley Forge Casino Resort's newest hotspot for live local entertainment is Jennifer Gailey, Chief Marketing Officer.
The Vault is a brand new bar and entertainment venue that we just opened at Valley Forge Casino Resort. We're really focusing all on entertainment in this space. We like to have something for everybody. So Fridays you can see great DJs, and Saturdays we're bringing in local bands. So while you're here, you can also enjoy our list of great craft cocktails. We do them, individual or also in large format crafts, which are great to share with the group. And then we have a great selection of craft beers on tap as well. So we have something for everyone, but it's all about great local entertainment that you can really experience while you're here at the Vault.
Seek out this hidden gem for the best live and local entertainment every Friday and Saturday night, only at Valley Forge Casino Resort.
PGA professionals are well-trained experts who work hard to share the joy of golf with our neighbors for over 90 years. To find your local PGA professional, visit phillypga.com. Brought to you by the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
We are the experts in the game and business of golf.
Well, here we are as we wrap up this edition of Inside Golf with the first tee program of Greater Philadelphia. Indoors, putting surface doesn't get any better than that, does it, Bill?
It's perfect, and today it's a big rainy day, so this is a great spot to be.
Absolutely. Tell us once again, for our viewers who are interested in more information about what you do, what the first tee of Greater Philadelphia does, what's their easiest and best way for them to get in touch?
They can contact us through our website, and that's www.thefirstteephiladelphia.org.
Bill, thanks again for all that you do for a lot of youngsters and getting them involved, not just in the lessons of golf, but in the lessons of life, and that's what you guys are all about.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
No problem. Thanks also to Jay Siegel and to John McDonald. That's it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Thanks for joining us. And remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up and get involved in the first tee program of Greater Philadelphia. I'm Harry Donahue. See you next time on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life, and Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.